What's up, guys? How's it going? Glad to have you back here at the Crown One. And let's get started. This is going to be a pretty interesting article that I came across here at comicbook.com, and it's talking about DC K.O. If you haven't been checking it out, seems a little interesting. I just found out about the series a few days ago. So I'm gonna be, kind of tracking it and stuff like that, and just see how it goes, see who wins. Superman, cough, cough. So let's get into it. And if you guys are enjoying the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for latest updates and the latest uploads for the latest content. Right, so I'm going straight into it, man. So DC K.O. fans, this is actually about an article also, and it's talking about how some of the fans are feeling like this is an old bait and switch. And what's happening is that fans are riding on a massive wave of hype about DC K.O., and it seems like it's been generating a lot of audience as far as readability. People are talking about the articles and stuff like that. Now, we were shown on this DC K.O. That there was a 32 fighter roster. It's supposed to be a clean tournament bracket, and all signs pointed to a classic one-on-one showdown series. Now, the expectations were sky high from the start, but once issue number 2 dropped, things took a sharp turn. Now, instead of the matchups, we were promised Superman versus Giganta, Wonder Woman versus Starro. The first round suddenly became a chaotic scavenger hunt. No fights, just a scramble for artifacts. And that caught a lot of readers off guard. That would catch me off guard. I haven't read that series. I actually saw the second series, the tie-in with Captain Atom versus Superman from Variant Comics, and they came up on my feed, and I started watching, and that's why I'm reporting to you on it today. So there seems to be a bit of a loss of expectation, or the unmet expectation, where people are thinking this is going to be a lot more bigger than what might have been advertised, and it seems like out the gate it's been nothing but what it seems, from what I said earlier, is a scavenger hunt, which of course can, be a bit of a letdown. So what made it sting even more was marketing around the event. Now, DC didn't just show us a bracket. So they encouraged fans to fill it out, make predictions, and follow the tournament like a real competition. So they encourage these fans to do this, and people assume the bracket meant something. Now, as far as filling out brackets, I don't think I would think a bracket would mean something if you're doing like fantasy football, or you have like a tournament that you might be betting on. You're trying to draw brackets there, but I don't know if it's going to have any weight in the actual tournament itself. You're not picking those brackets. The people who are hosting that venue would be picking those brackets, or some governmental body or something like that. So I'm not sure where the correlation is between where people thought it might have had some weight. Maybe they're taking like a crowdsource, and they're just trying to get, like statistics of who they wanted in the brackets. Anyways, so now, to be fair, the writer did mention beforehand that not every round would be a traditional fight. So he talked about non-traditional phases of competition, but we're going to be honest here. Most fans didn't catch that. You got to read that fine print. And those who did probably didn't expect such a drastic departure from the advertised setup. So again, this just seems like fans were kind of slighted a bit as far as those brackets and the traditional fights. Now, this isn't happening in a vacuum, where we're seeing comics having a long story of teasing one thing and delivering another. Misleading covers, dream sequences, and sudden reveals seem to have that history, though. You know what I mean? So and I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I mean, we know about the bait and switch. You know about the play up. You're talking about a character like, oh, he's going to do all these things. You see the cover of a magazine where Superman is just going straight gorilla, and then you start, you pay your $5 or $10 or $20 or $30, depending on what series you're getting. You open up the comic book, and it's just a dream. Superman had a dream. Oh, he went berserk in his dream. Or somebody completely reverses it. Or we were just seeing this is another universe. You know what I'm saying? Like a multiverse. I'm not going to harp too much on the multiverse. I don't care for it. I'm going to leave it at that. But when it comes to, like some of the things that they advertise, people have that expectations. Now, even though the people may feel like they're being slighted by the writers, by the comic books, we also have to understand the intentions of the comic writers themselves. Are they intentionally trying to bait and switch the people? Did they, have this vision, this intention that they wanted the readers to be excited about their stuff, they wanted to buy their stuff, and they wanted to deliver? Were they making the attempt to deliver? And I think it's fair to have that type of assessment when you start thinking about some of the comic books that do come out, where you have all this hype that's built up, but you as the reader don't feel like they fulfilled that role. Now, we can't really speak to other people's minds. We just don't have that type of foresight. But the dollar speaks when it comes to viewer numbers. And I know last week I was talking, last week. Yeah, time is flying. In my last video, I actually talked about something where we have creatives, creative writers, drawers, what have you, who are in the media and entertainment industry. And we're just gonna, stick with comics. They write a comic book, and you have the readers who seem to, and this is not all readers, some try to take the intention, the canon or what have you from the writer. They try to change the canon. They try to define their own intentions, and you have all these people trying to create this character separate from what was originally intended. So that's something to consider when we're reading, to read with the intent of the writer. Again, we can't speak to other people's minds, and don't try to read minds. Just let it go. If you didn't enjoy it, maybe get your money back. I don't know. And I went off on a tangent there, but I think it's important also, and I'm still on that tangent. I think it's important also for us as creatives that regardless of what we might think as far as the character developments that we have within our comics, the stories that we write, that for all of our intentions and all of our canon, the consumer, the buyer, the reader will have this final say so as it pertains to feedback. And that feedback may come in dollars, it may come in reviews, which will still can impact the bottom line. And nobody should really be in a crowd pleasing, but you want to write something that people can relate to, something that's associative. And probably for a masser audience, you want to try to cast a wide net so you can pull in and, kind of work from there, continue to catch people in and work from there. I'm speaking a bit general here, but back to the article. So now at the end of the day, hold on, losing my place. Let me back up a little. So at the end of the day, DC K.O. isn't a bait and switch in a malicious sense. And now this is a statement from the writer that did this article. Not, the vision of Wonderverse. It's not my vision or what I would say is or isn't a bait and switch. But it's technically delivered on the idea of a big competition, which it is, a 32 fighter bracket. 16 fights. Yeah, my math is horrible. Where you have a lot of superheroes within this bracket. Of course, it's obviously not all DC heroes, but definitely have the main three in there: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and then you have some of the other core Justice League members. I think they just came out with Aquaman not too long ago, or it's about to come out. But out here, let's check the webpage real quick. So this is the actual bracket that we're looking at. And then when I switch over here, okay, so Aquaman comes out on the 10th. Now it doesn't say who's gonna fight. I mean, it has on the cover, looks like Hawkman. So it's okay, so yeah, Aquaman versus Hawkman. So that's gonna be an interesting fight to see. And then going down, you're gonna have DC K.O. Another tie-in with Wonder Woman versus Lobo. Now we're here at the time of this video. We're actually here with Superman versus Captain Atom. Now again, I was watching. I got the notification on my recommendeds and saw a variant comic covering this, and I like their narration. I like the work those guys do over there. their covering of Superman versus Captain Atom was pretty epic, and the illustrations within those fights, within the fight between Superman and Captain Atom, was pretty awesome. If you haven't read it, I won't spoil it for you. Let's just say Captain Atom might need to dial it back. You know what I'm saying? Before he loses himself. But that's no spoilers. So we're here, and we're gonna move down further. So next week you can expect these 2 articles, and we'll see how it plays out. And hopefully, Variant covers some more. I mean, because I'm actually pretty intrigued by the storyline, but I guess it'd have to be delivered to me in a way that I'm kind of used to and that I like, which is why I like watching Variant comics. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they're able to deliver. I mean, I don't know if these are already written. The series is already written. They already have the release dates on the page, which is definitely set in the future. But I don't know if they're like writing them in as time goes by. And the reason why I say that is hopefully they're starting to get some crowd feedback and really hearing the crowd feedback of, what people are saying. They might feel a little miffed, might feel like it's a bait and switch. And it's not, I wouldn't say that's what they're going for. These are some pretty epic fights. It may not be the bracket that people were expecting, but a fight between Superman and Captain Atom, we saw that in Justice League Unlimited. And of course, Superman had to pack Captain Atom up, you know what I'm saying? But to see Captain Atom go full feral, and really start leaning into Superman, pretty interesting sight. So if you hadn't had a chance to check it out, I'll check out Variant Comics. They do a great narration of it, or you can pony up your own dough and get the article at $4.99. Article, I said article. Comic book at $4.99. So now at the current, like I said, we're at the Superman Captain Atom issue. They also have core. Let's see, was it core? I think it's core number 2. So let's scroll down a little. Yeah, so core number 3 comes out next month, and right now we are at core issue for November 26th, which I think was a couple days before Thanksgiving. So that's where we're at as far as the core issue comes. And then, you have all these tie-ins. Some of them are released on the same day. Man, some required reading needs to be done. But that's all I have for you guys. I think it's, like I said, overall, I think the series is pretty cool. I won't say it's a bait and switch. Again, I'm not going to release my opinion on it. Let's see how it plays out. Starting out the gate, it's, fans are kind of feeling a little miffed about it, and I'll probably say rightfully so. They're expecting something bigger, and that's fine. But I think it's good to kind of just, like I said, let's just see how it plays out and enjoy the series. Again, if you guys are enjoying the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. That notification bell. Again, I'm going to probably keep saying this for a while. Some squirrel is going on with the algorithms. Hit that notification bell. I think YouTube is starting to move over to shorts. So I got some shorts released on my channel if you want to check them out. Yeah, hit that notification bell. The latest updates on the latest uploads for the latest content. This is Crown One signing off, and I'll talk to you guys later.